Hello everyone, it's Liam here, and you're watching Boys in Blue News, your go-to spot for everything Toronto Maple Leafs. If you follow the Leafs, you know how the team always brings intense emotions, both for the players and for us, the fans. And when we talk about one of our most talented players, William Nylander, it's no different. His performance has been generating a lot of conversation lately, and today we're going to explore how he's handling a roller coaster phase, as well as discuss the coach's approach to help him find his rhythm again. But of course, the future is quickly approaching with the NHL trade deadline. What is the Toronto Maple Leafs planning to do to further strengthen the team and ensure our season gets even more promising? An intriguing name has been circulating, and we'll talk about that too. But before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss any Leafs news. Your subscription is really important for our Leafs community to keep growing and stay connected. Now, let's dive into the team updates. If you follow the Toronto Maple Leafs, you know that William Nylander is a player who can evoke mixed emotions. When he's at his best, he's practically unstoppable. But when things don't go as expected, it becomes evident, and the weight falls not only on his shoulders, but also on how the fans and media view him. In the last 5 games, Nylander scored 4 goals and totaled 5 points, which is promising. However, if we broaden the analysis, his performance in the 11 games between December 23rd and January 14th raises some concerns. During that period, he scored just 1 goal and accumulated 6 points, numbers that, let's be honest, are below what we expect from such a talented player. And here comes Craig Berube, the Leafs head coach. Many wondered how Berube would handle Nylander's inconsistent period, especially after some controversial comments that sparked media and fan criticism. But instead of adopting a harsh or critical tone, Berube chose a welcoming and collaborative approach. During an interview after Monday's morning practice, Berube spoke openly about his relationship with Nylander. He emphasized the importance of listening to the player, rather than just trying to understand him. "I have a lot of conversations with him, which I enjoy. I want him to open up to me. What can we do better? He has a lot of great ideas. I may not agree with all of them, but there's something I'd like to hear." This openness and constant dialogue seem to be paying off. Nylander is, once again, showing signs of his full potential. In the last 2 games, he scored 3 goals and accumulated 4 points. It seems like the balance is being restored, something that everyone, from Berube to the fans, hoped for. Berube emphasized that his role goes beyond simply giving instructions. He recognizes that listening to the players is essential to getting the best out of them. "I try to talk to him every day. I really try. I'm not trying to understand him. I'm trying to listen to him, more than anything. And that's something we can all learn from. Sometimes, listening is more important than talking." Do you agree? This dynamic not only creates an environment of trust, but it could also be what is driving Nylander to have a career-best season. Currently, he's on pace to score an impressive 47 goals, a feat that would elevate him to a new level. The Leafs are leading the Atlantic Division with a solid record of 29-16-2. With a 3-point lead over the Florida Panthers, the team has a chance to increase that margin to 5 points in their game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The game will be at Scotiabank Arena, and the expectation is that Nylander will keep up the pace and help the team solidify their position at the top, especially with John Tavares still sidelined due to injury. When discussing William Nylander's situation, it's impossible not to recognize the immense talent he possesses. When he's in top form, he shines and seems unbeatable, which gets all the fans excited. However, when the performance doesn't meet those expectations, the pressure increases, both for him and the team. During a period of inconsistency, when Nylander seemed far from his best version, many wondered how coach Craig Berube would handle it. It's interesting to note that Berube, instead of being harsh and demanding, opted for a more empathetic and communication-focused approach. He didn't focus just on fixing the player, but on understanding what was going on in Nylander's mind. He made space for genuine dialogue, allowing the player to express his own ideas and perceptions. I think this type of relationship is key, especially in times of pressure, and it seems to be paying off. In the last few games, we've seen Nylander shine again, with goals and points, and his confidence seems to be growing. This balance between support and demand is often neglected in sports, but it's crucial for a player's development. Listening is just as important as talking, and often it's in that listening space that solutions arise. For me, this kind of leadership from Berube, which is based on trust and mutual respect, not only helps Nylander, but could also be the key to the team's collective success. Looking at the numbers, Nylander is on track for an impressive season, with the possibility of reaching 47 goals. This would certainly be a major milestone for him and a huge contribution to the Leafs, who are playing solidly and staying at the top of the Atlantic Division. With John Tavares' injury, the responsibility of driving the team falls even more on players like Nylander. My opinion is that Berube is on the right track by giving Nylander the space to express himself. In my view, this type of approach makes a difference, creating a more collaborative and healthy environment where the player can truly grow and reach his maximum potential. Of course, the big challenge is to maintain this consistency throughout the season. But for now, it seems like we're seeing a positive phase that could lead Nylander to great achievements. Now, I ask you, what do you think about Berube's approach? Is listening more than talking really the way to get the best out of players? And what about Nylander? Do you believe he can keep this good run going and exceed expectations this season? Leave your opinion in the comments, and let's discuss. After all, it's always exciting to follow the Leafs as they chase their best performance. And of course, don't forget to support the team as they face another big challenge tonight. The countdown to the NHL trade deadline has already begun. With just over a month left until March 7th, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in the spotlight as a potential big buyer. As the Leafs prepare to strengthen their team, one surprising name has emerged: Brandon Tanev, currently with the Seattle Kraken and the brother of defenseman Craig Tanev. In a recent appearance on the Leafs Nation's Leafs Morning Take podcast, insider David Pagnotta brought up a little discussed but intriguing name, Brandon Tanev. Pagnotta highlighted what Tanev could bring to the team, especially in the final stretch of the season. According to him, the left winger would bring extra spark, physicality, and pace, along with the potential to score important goals in critical moments. At 33, Brandon Tanev has been a versatile player for the Kraken this season, accumulating 15 points in 45 games, 99 hits, and 78 blocks. He is a clear example of someone who does the dirty work, which is indispensable in the playoffs. But do the Leafs really need another winger? That's the big question that fans and experts are asking. The Leafs have more urgent areas to reinforce, like the center position or the defense. Leafs general manager Brad Treliving recently stated that he's looking for a specific type of player, and Tanev, while useful, might not perfectly fit that profile. Still, his intensity and versatility could be a valuable asset. In the playoffs, games are often decided by details, and a player like Tanev, who isn't intimidated by physical and high-stakes situations, could be a strategic addition. Another interesting point is the family connection. Both Brandon and Chris Tanev are from Toronto, and there's no doubt that playing alongside his brother in their hometown would be a dream come true for Brandon. Chris' presence on the Leafs defense could also help Brandon adapt and bond with the team, should the trade actually happen. But this raises an important question for the fans. Should the emotional aspect of a family reunion outweigh the team's tactical needs? As the NHL trade deadline approaches, there is a wave of speculation, and this time, Brandon Tanev's name from the Seattle Kraken is gaining attention on the Toronto Maple Leafs radar. With his intense, physical style of play and ability to score crucial goals, Tanev is certainly the type of player who could bring a necessary boost to the Leafs, especially in the final stretch of the season. But is he the right addition? The first question that comes to mind is, do the Leafs really need another winger? The answer isn't so simple. The team already has several options on the wings, but as we know, in the playoffs, the intangibles matter most. Physicality and pace can make all the difference, especially in long series where wear and tear and aggression are key. Tanev has exactly that profile. He does the dirty work, which often goes unrecognized, but is essential for success in decisive games. On the other hand, it's undeniable that there are more urgent areas the Leafs need to strengthen. The defense and center position are gaps that, in my view, need to be prioritized to ensure the team is balanced and competitive enough for the battles ahead. Brad Treliving, the Leafs general manager, has made it clear that he's looking for a player who meets specific needs, and Tanev may not fit that profile exactly. But the family connection certainly adds an emotional layer to the trade. The idea of seeing Brandon Tanev reunited with his brother Chris in their hometown is appealing, and we can imagine how significant that would be for both. Chris' presence on the Leafs could indeed ease Brandon's transition to the team and even boost the chemistry in key moments. However, the question remains, should the emotion and desire to reunite the Tanev brothers outweigh the need to reinforce the team's more critical areas? It's a valid question, especially when we consider how crucial every move will be in the coming weeks. In my opinion, if the Leafs can make a good deal, Tanev could certainly be a valuable addition to bring intensity and grit in the playoffs. However, if the trade means sacrificing more urgent reinforcements, maybe the focus should be on more critical areas like center and defense. We know that the trade deadline is a time full of speculation and emotions for the fans. Do you think Brandon Tanev would be a good acquisition for the Leafs? Or should the team focus its resources on more critical areas like center or defense? Leave your opinion in the comments. Maybe your ideas will reflect what the team needs to hear. After all, we all want to see the Leafs go far in the playoffs, and every detail counts.